This is part 2. We finished off part 1 with looking at the electrical data for our analysis. And what we wanted to achieve from that, from the utility bills, was the kilowatt hours on a monthly basis and the cost of that utility electricity on a monthly basis. And we'll be putting that into our spreadsheet, which I'll show you how to do here shortly. But the next item on our agenda is to get our data for natural gas. Natural gas bills tend to be a lot simpler than uh, electricity. And so we recall that natural gas is billed in terms of therms, and one therm is equivalent to 100,000 BTUs. So here is the first month, this facility, this residence, natural gas bill, and this is the summary sheet, and it's pretty straightforward. So there's a billing period here, which was 28 days, and the meter number, and the readings, which is in therms, this 43, let me take that back. This reading number is in some quantity, and you get a reading number of 43. And then what they do is they have this billing factor and then a BTU factor to get total therms. And so for the month of January, this first month, this client used 45 therms of natural gas. And the cost associated with that was down here, the total current charges of $74.25. And so that's the information that we're going to put in. Notice this does include a regulatory fee and a public purpose surcharge. We're going to include that for our analysis, just like we did for electrical. The one thing I like about this natural gas bill, and again, they're all different. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, ours looks slightly different. But there's some, if you want to find out some terms on this second sheet, things are defined here. So billing term definitions, they have something called a baseline. The billing factor, it says it adjusts the amount of gas measured for differences in pressure, altitude, and meter calibration, because really what they're measuring is gas flow. And that gas flow is usually in cubic feet. And so there's, depending on the density and the atmospheric pressure and all sorts of things, that can affect the fuel content of that natural gas. Let's put it that way. And then they have this BTU factor, which adjusts the amount of gas measured, that flow of natural gas, to reflect the heat content of the gas. So that's just a little bit of definition there. But yeah, these are pretty straightforward to read. And so here's a summary also on this one. The therms used was 45 for this billing period. And then they also show historical use of natural gas for this residence. Okay, so now let's look at the assignment that you have for this teaching module. Using an Excel spreadsheet and the utility bills for natural gas and electricity, which we have provided for you this is for residents in Southern California, you will record the values for natural gas and electricity on a monthly basis. And using the Excel template that I have provided for you, you will set up a spreadsheet to convert your natural gas, which in your utility bills is in therms, and your electricity from kilowatt hours, both of those to our values of kBTU. And then you will determine the following: the energy use intensity in kBTU per square foot per year, the energy cost per square foot per year, and the energy use in kilowatt hours per square foot per year. And in addition, using Excel, you'll generate some charts. You'll show the natural gas monthly energy use in therms. You'll show the kilowatt hours used on a monthly basis for electricity, and then the total of natural gas and electricity converted into kBTU on a chart. Here is the PDF for this assignment, which I've made for you, which you will have access to. The title of this, of course, is Utility Data Analysis and Calculating Energy Use Intensity, or EUI. So let's go through this. A residence's energy consumption divided by its floor area measures its energy intensity, an indicator of the home's energy use and energy saving potential. In this module, you will calculate the total energy use intensity for a residence that's located in Newbury Park, California, based off of utility bills. The residence has a conditioned floor area of 1,280 square foot. Using an Excel spreadsheet, you'll record the utility data in natural gas in therms and electrical use in kilowatt hours, and then you will convert the therms and electrical values to kBTU and determine the total annual energy use in kBTU and kilowatt hours. Use the following conversion factors in your calculations. And here's what you will determine the following metrics for your residence: the energy cost per square foot per year, the energy use in kilowatt hours per square foot per year, and the energy use in kBTU per square foot per year. And then you will submit all your information on a memo template, which I'll provide for you and which I will go through for you also. And you will include the following information: a written summary of the scope of the memo, the conversion factors used, information on the residence, and any other details you feel are necessary. And you will also copy and paste your Excel calculations from your spreadsheet and your charts onto your report memo. And then finally, what you will do is you will tell us, you'll look at this, and this is a chart that is loosely based off of the HERS rating. HERS rating, which you may have heard of, rates the performance of a residence in terms of kilowatt hours per square foot per year and kBTU per square foot. And depending on those values, it comes up with the rating. It's very complicated, and it's beyond the scope of this assignment, but I wanted you to get an understanding of where this home may fall in terms of these two metrics which you found in your analysis. And so what you'll do is you'll determine what your kBTU per square foot on that annual basis is and your kilowatt hours per square foot, and then find out where it lies in this rating and what the what you would conclude about the efficiency of that residence. Here is the Excel spreadsheet template that I am providing to you. I wanted everyone's template to look the same, and so that's why I set this up like this. This is what the template looks like, but you, of course, are going to have to do the work inside of it. Here are the calculations, and which are basically just conversion factors. But if you notice, the way I set it up is that you can copy from one cell into the other to do your calculations. And I'm assuming for the purposes of this assignment that you all have some experience with Excel, and this is not complicated Excel work. It's very simple. So what you'll do is you'll take your data from your utility bills and you'll input the therms for each month and the kilowatt hours for each month, and then you will do the math within this Excel spreadsheet. Now, what I'm showing here is the memo template that you will use to submit your findings. And I want this to look like a professional document, which is why I set it up in the memo format, and also to give some consistency from every person's work so that it makes it easier to grade, to be honest with you, and to force you into presenting all the information into a readable form as if you were going to give this to one of your colleagues or a client. And so that's the intent of what is presented here in this memorandum format. So what you'll do is the template is provided for you, and you'll include the date and then who it's to. I happen to be Suzanne Marinello. I'm a professional engineer, but you can put your instructor's name, whoever it is you think it's to go to, and a company. Again, I work for Lane Community College Energy Management Program, but you could put in Canyons or any company that maybe you're working for right now. Use something that works for you. Make sure you include your name, and CC is there, but that's optional. But because memos often have to go to more than one party, and this is regarding utility data analysis and energy utilization intensity. And what the first thing you want to do is you want to provide a statement that summarizes the memo intent. And it can be just a couple sentences from what the assignment is. You don't have to be really wordy or anything, just a summary of this is calculating the energy use intensity of a residence in Newbury Park, California, based off of utility data from the past annual year, something like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to insert a copy of your completed Excel spreadsheet. And on your spreadsheet, you want to include your calculations and conversion factors and the summary of your results. You're also going to include the charts and then indicate where on the chart your residence falls and provide a comment on your findings. This report does not have to be lengthy or wordy. It's really just a snapshot, a summation of what you found. And the intent is for you to be able to show the reader what the analysis was that you did and how you achieved your results. So there you have it. That's the end of part 2 and the end of this teaching module. I hope you have fun with that. I hope you learned something, and I wish you the best of luck, and thank you very much.